kind of shows you two different. It sort of shows you the trajectory of the book in a way, the beginning and the end at least. This is called Outback, and it's really short, and it's just about the Adirondacks and behind the kitchen. There's just this, wildflowers and grass growing. Outback, the ferns, mint, foxglove, and tall grass, growing every which way behind the kitchen, surpass anything I could say about them. And the purple vetch I pulled out yesterday, perhaps I was wrong to think it was strangling the others. It might just as well have been binding them all together, though here I could be making yet another mistake. Better to let them all be, to take of them freely by other means and without much remark, the way the wind bends and jostles the ferns, and the bumblebees and moths visit the last pink bells at the tops of the swaying foxglove stalks. So it's sort of a poem about not screwing around with the flowers too much, either metaphorically or linguistically or in real life. And so this poem is very different. So those foxgloves, which grow wild up in the Adirondacks, I wanted to bring some back and plant them in Massachusetts where I live. And they only live for 2 years. They're biennials, and they bloom on the second year. And then they die. So if they don't go to seed, you don't get any more. So you have to. That's kind of why the speaker of the poem is obsessed with getting them to go to seed. It's called Cross-Fertilization. It's come to this. I'm helping flowers have sex. Crouching down on one knee to insert a Q-tip into one freckled foxglove bell after another, without any clue as to what I'm doing, which, come to think of it, is always true the first time with sex. And soon Randy Newman's early song, Maybe I'm Doing It Wrong, is running through my head as I fumble and probe, golden pollen tumbling off the swab. I transported these foxgloves from upstate New York, where they grow wild, to our backyard in Massachusetts. And I want them to multiply, but the bumblebees, their main pollinators, haven't found them, and I'm not waiting around. The only diagram I found online portrayed a flower in cross-section, the stamens extending the loaded anthers toward the flared opening, but the text explained the female sexual organs are hidden. Of course they are. Which leaves me in the dark, transported back to a state of awkward if ardent unenlightenment, a complete beginner figuring it out as I go along, giggling a little and humming an old song as I stick the Q-tip into another flower, as if to light the pilot of a gas stove with a kitchen match, leaning in to listen for the small, quick gasp that comes when the flame makes contact with the source. Thank you.